welcome or welcome back to my huge channel. I'm glad to have you here. So, I think at this point everyone knows what's going on in Ukraine. Nevertheless, I would like to add something to this mix. And this something is my art, my painting, and this video really. I'm from Poland and every day I see and hear all this cruelty. In the news, buses, trains, and on the streets. I see people losing their lives, their houses, and they hope for the better future. And I really hope I can cheer up somebody in these difficult times through my art. So if you'd like to hear me talk about it a little more, then keep on watching. So why has Putin invaded Ukraine? The goals he set at the start of Russia's invasion appear to have been watered down during the course of the war, that he assumed would be swiftly won. He couldn't even admit it was an invasion or a war, preferring the fiction of a special military operation. But what is clear is that he sees this as a pivotal moment in Russia's history. Russia's future and its future place in the world are at stake, says Foreign Intelligence Chief Sergei Naryshkin. The Russian leader's initial aim was to overrun Ukraine and depose its government, ending for good its desire to join the Western Defenders Alliance NATO. He told the Russian people his goal was to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine, to protect people subjected to what he called 8 years of bullying and genocide by Ukraine's government. It is not our plan to occupy the Ukrainian territory. We do not intend to impose anything or anyone by force, he insisted. But there were no Nazis and no genocide, and Russia has imposed brutal force and dozens of towns and cities and united Ukrainians in opposition to its occupation. The bombardment continues, but latest reports from peace talks suggest Russia is no longer seeking to overthrow the government and is instead aiming for a neutral Ukraine. Why Putin wants a neutral Ukraine? Since Ukraine achieved independence in 1991, as the Soviet Union collapsed, it has gradually veered to the west, both the EU and NATO. Russia's leader aims to reverse that, seeing the fall of Soviet Union as the disintegration of historical Russia. He has claimed Russians and Ukrainians are one people. Ukraine never had a tradition of genuine statehood. He asserted, denying Ukraine its history. In 2013, he pressed Ukraine's pro-Russian leader Viktor Yanukovych not to sign a deal with the European Union, prompting protests that ultimately ousted the Ukraine in February 2014. What are Ukraine's demands? Ukraine's requirements are clear, says the presidential advisor. A ceasefire and withdrawal of Russian troops, but also legally binding security guarantees, that would give Ukraine protection from a group of allied countries that would actively prevent attacks and take an active part on the side of Ukraine in conflict. Securing Russian military withdrawal to pre-war position will not only be a Ukraine demand, it will also be a red line for the West, which will refuse to accept another of Russia's frozen conflicts, says Mark Wheeler. Ukraine has also softened its stance since Russia's invasion, with President Zelensky saying that Ukrainians now understood that NATO would not admit them as a member. It's a truth and it must be recognized. What does war mean for Ukraine? Russia's invasion of Ukraine could displace far more people and cause more human suffering than Europe has seen this century. The world will bear witness to the deaths of innocent civilians, the destruction of homes and infrastructure, and massive displacement of families within Ukraine and beyond. The impact of the conflict will be felt not just across Europe but around the globe. The war will also impact food supplies, particularly across the wheat and Ukraine export for countries like Yemen, Libya and Lebanon, that are already facing high levels of food insecurity. Ukraine's economy is in decline. Further violence will devastate Ukraine's already weakened infrastructure. The country's health system, relying from COVID-19, is fragile, and its economy has declined drastically. Everyone, thank you for watching. I hope you liked the end result, the finished painting. I hope I will make more paintings which are so meaningful in future. And I'm glad to have you here. And one more time, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.